If your finances feel overwhelming right now, the problem may not be your money. It may be how much you're trying to deal with all at once. Welcome. My name is Tamara. Whether you're new or not, I make simple videos about money clarity, peace, and living a life that feels good. A lot of people think that their issue is a lack of discipline, not knowing what to do, or their income. But most of the time, that's not it. The real issue is overwhelm. When you have a lot to deal with in your life, and many of us may be carrying a lot of responsibility, a lot of things on our to-do list. You may have a personal life that's a little bit heavy right now. Maybe you're taking care of parents. Maybe you are taking care of a spouse that's ill. Maybe you have special needs in your family. Maybe you're trying to maintain your 9 to 5. You might need to be paying bills. You may be worried about your savings. You may feel like you're not doing enough to pay down your debt. When everything feels urgent, your mind can literally just shut down. And instead of trying to do something about your finances, you may end up doing nothing at all. It's not that you don't know what to do. It's just that everything right now might feel like too much to deal with. And so you do nothing. Now, here's what overwhelm looks like in your finances. And this can be the tricky part. Overwhelm doesn't always look obvious. Frankly, there are so many people walking around every day looking normal, and they may feel like their lives are completely falling apart. I learned this when I was working on my own career. There were moments when I felt overwhelmed, but you know what? I was showing up looking like my best self every day. And over the years, as I have coached different people, I realized that as humans, we have the uncanny ability to have complete chaos or stress or personal devastation happening, while to the world, we're showing up as our best selves. So what does it look like? It may look like avoiding looking at your bank account. This is a real thing. There are persons who they just don't even want to see what the problem may look like. And we know that that's dangerous because there are so many things that could be happening in your bank account. That's one of the things that you really should try to check every day or every other day. Another way overwhelm shows up is by saying, I'll deal with that tomorrow. I'll look at it next week. I have a personal philosophy, and I say it all the time. Delay is danger. The best time to address something is as soon as possible. When you delay, sometimes things get so much worse. And you know, when it comes to debt, especially credit card debt, the longer you take to address something like that is the more interest is accumulating on that debt. Overwhelm may also look like watching a lot of videos on the same topic, planning, thinking, but not taking any action. You can literally spend the amount of time you need to fix something, thinking about fixing that thing. And then before you know it, the day is gone. Here's the simple shift that you can make. Stop trying to fix everything. Just do one thing. Check your account balance. Write down what you owe. Pay one bill. That's it. You just really need one small action to create some movement. When you take that small action, immediately you'll start to feel better on the inside, and you'll regain your confidence and feel better about doing even more. The next thing that you need to do is build a system. I know that this might sound complex, but it is not. Building a system is important because you cannot rely on motivation when you are overwhelmed. You're going to need systems that will support you on those days that may be more difficult than others, or where you may have low energy, where you really are not able to think about anything difficult. And here is what a simple, calm system looks like that will support your finances. Automating your savings or automating your bill payments. I'm a big believer in automatic transfers. This is one of the things that created the biggest impact on my financial journey. This is really how I was able to save my emergency fund and eventually pay down my own debt. You won't have to think about it. You won't have to negotiate with yourself. As soon as you get paid, it is one of those things that should be transferred out immediately, and you'll have to work with what's left, right? Especially if you know that you're spending on things, maybe you have a weakness in terms of spending on things that aren't really necessary throughout the month, and you know that some of that money spent could go towards a bill payment or saving for your emergency fund. This is a good way to do that. You take it out of your hands, you automate it, and you can check on that in 2 months. When I set up my automated savings, when I went back and checked on it, like 2-3 months after that, I was surprised at how much progress I made. Try to keep things simple so you're not always trying to decide what to do next. Peace comes from removing decisions, not necessarily adding more effort. And for me, peace of mind is very important. I find that once I take a peaceful approach to whatever I need to do, my finances or otherwise, that is when I make the most progress. So you don't have to worry about trying to fix your finances immediately or in one day. And I know that you'll see videos out there that says fix your life in one day or fix all your finances in 30 minutes. I find that that is not usually the reality, especially if you're dealing with a high stress, high demand life, personal life or career. You really start fixing your finances when you start taking action, even if small, because the moment you take one step, then you're no longer stuck and you start to feel better about not only yourself, but better about doing more. And this is where you start to build momentum in the right direction. Thank you so much for watching. If this video helped you in any way, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one. Until next time, take good care. Bye-bye.